Welcome to week 3 of Guiding Behavior. The focus of this week is on building a partnership with each of the children that are in your classroom or each of the children that you work with. And what I mean by partnership is the idea that the two of you are in it together, and you know that and they know that. They know that you're as invested in their success as they are. And the reason it's important to create this kind of partnership is that when the child truly believes that you are on their side and you guys are working together, they're more likely to comply with your expectations and rise to meet them, right? So if a child feels like they're going this way and you're going this way and you're just having conflict, then they're less likely to want to move with you. If they feel like you're on the other side from them, then you're going to keep butting heads. But if they start to feel that they're moving one direction and you're moving the same direction with them, then it's going to feel less combative to both you and them, and they're going to be more inclined to trust you and trust that your expectations aren't in your best interest, but they're actually in their best interest. Does that make sense? We ask kids to trust us a lot because we know more than them. We have a bigger scope for which to see the importance of what's happening in the classroom. But if we build a partnership with the children, then they'll start to trust our judgment. And even though they can't see why what we're doing is important, if they trust us, they'll believe us, and then they'll do what we're asking of them. If we're not in partnership with them, then there's no reason for the kids to trust us and believe us when we say that it's important if they work hard at their schoolwork, that it's important that they pay attention in class, that it's important not to hurt their classmates. If they don't trust us, they don't believe that the expectations that we have set for them actually serve them, right? And I think it's a classic situation to get into that you've set rules and expectations for their benefit, but because they don't trust you, they believe that those rules are just for your own benefit as the teacher. And now you might have teachers in the past that you've either observed as an adult or teachers that you had when you were a child, and you know that those rules that they set weren't necessarily in the children's best interest, but those rules were set for the teacher's convenience. And so that is counterproductive if you're trying to build a partnership with children, to have rules that serve you as opposed to rules that serve them, right? So that's the idea that I want us to kind of think about this week is how to create the feeling of partnership with each of our students. And so the first way that I've asked you to do that is we have a discussion board where I ask you to think about, have you ever felt like someone was really in partnership with you and really working to support your success, maybe as a student or as an athlete, or as somebody working in a job, or even in your family, a time when someone was really invested in your success and really partnered with you. So I want you to think about that. Hopefully you've had that experience. And as you're thinking about that and talking about that with one another, my hope is that it kind of jars in you, oh, that's why I felt that person was in partnership with me. How can I emulate that person's behavior so that the kids in my classroom get the feeling that I'm in partnership with them? And the next is a reading assignment from The Emotional Life of the Toddler. Again, the language is focused on toddlers, but it's about partnership. And so the ideas in there are applicable to older kids as well. It's how key to working with toddlers or living with a toddler is that they have to believe that you are working with them and that they're involved. The more decisions you make for a 2-year-old and the less decisions you let them make for themselves, the more battles you're going to have with a 2-year-old, right? Those of you who know 2-year-olds or have 2-year-olds or have had in the past 2-year-olds know that you have to give 2-year-olds control over parts of their day so that they feel like you're moving with them as opposed to moving against them. And so working with toddlers is all about creating a feeling of partnership and creating the feeling that when you ask a toddler to do something, it's actually in their best interest, not in your best interest. And that's it. It's a quick week. There's not a lot of extra assignment in this module. So that's where we're at. So I want to, before you do your reading, or while you're doing your reading, I wanted to draw your attention to the section Paying Attention to Feelings on page 71. It's a really great story about a family is going to go out for the night, and the child does not want the family to leave, does not want to be left with a babysitter, which is a really classic. That's a classic in my house. I'll have worked a couple days in a row, and then I want to, I go to jazzercise because I'm super cool. That's my form of exercise. And I'll be like, okay, girls, I'm going to go to jazzercise. And they're like, don't go. Stay home forever. And then me, because I've been working a lot and I feel guilty or whatever, and then I just say, and secretly, because I don't really want to go to jazzercise, right? I don't really want to exercise. Then I just give in. I say, oh, okay, I'll stay home. But sometimes as a parent, you just have to leave your kid, even when they don't want you to. And so I want you to pay special attention to how the parents in that section deal with the child. And I'll just tell you now that the child doesn't want the parents to go. The parents are going to go. And so there's two different ways that can be handled. The parents could just say, okay, we're leaving. We made this plan for a babysitter. You'll be fine. And just leave. Okay? That's one way to handle it. The other way to handle it, which is how it's described in the book, is that the parents are patient and they sit with the child and they identify how the child's feeling. Gosh, you don't want us to go because you've missed us all week. And that makes a lot of sense. And you know what? What we'll do tomorrow will be Saturday, and we'll spend the whole day together as a family. So I know you don't want us to go now, and that makes a lot of sense. Your feelings are really valid, but we're going to go anyway. But tomorrow, we're going to spend a lot of really good time together. So that's a different way to handle the situation. So the first one, they have those competing interests. Parents want to go out. Kid wants parents to stay home. Boom. Right? And so then they're in conflict with one another. And the parent has the power, so the parents just leave, and the kid is left feeling yucky, crappy, right? They try it the other way, where they say, you really miss us. The kid merely misses the parents. And the parents, instead of having conflict with them, says, you know what? We miss you too. And how about we spend the day together tomorrow? Right? And then they're moving together. So we're still going to go out tonight, but tomorrow we're going to spend the day together because you miss us, and you know what? We miss you too. And so then instead of this, parent and child wanting two different things, they find their common ground, which is that they all miss each other, and they're going to spend some good time together. And so that takes that relationship that can be combative with conflict and turns it into a relationship where they're working together. So it's a really beautiful example, and it can be done with kids age, 2 up until 25, right? That idea of, you're upset about this. I understand why you're upset. It is valid that you're upset. And this is how we're going to address your feelings, even if we're not going to change our plan for tonight. So that is such a beautiful example of partnership to me. And that's where you have to get in your relationship with children for them to really exhibit the kind of behavior that you need them to exhibit in order to create a learning environment. Okay, thanks.